Hello everybody, it's your boy WEEZYFMAMBA and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys once again so much for being here. We really appreciate it. On today's video, ladies and gentlemen, we have decided to kind of take a little adventure down the recap of tutorials, especially on the family side. With all of the new PlayStation Plus players, there's a lot of people asking multiple questions about Leatherface, since he is the title character, the big bad man himself. A lot of people want to play Bubba because he is the most iconic character in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so it only makes sense. But the problem is nobody knows how to play him. Obviously, us veterans and experienced players know how to take care of the chainsaw and what routes and builds to use, but a lot of these new players, again, are struggling hard because of their level. And currently with double experience points until Tuesday, you earn double XP on all character level, player level, as well as perk level right now in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So it's super important. So what we're gonna do is gonna go ahead and showcase essentially the ultimate guide on how to play Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. It's pretty simple. We're going to showcase the best builds and, of course, how to maintain control of his chainsaw. It's quite easy once you get the hang of it, but it is a high skill gap to learn it. So again, this video will at least teach you guys that scenario. So what we're going to do is pop on over to the live scene. We're going to go ahead and log in. I had it paused for just a second while I was talking because the damn music is so loud. So there's a few things that you're going to want to do when you are playing Leatherface, and this is the best case scenario for you. First things first, you're going to want to go to your options. When you are playing Leatherface, the hardest thing to kind of get around is the noise. Unfortunately, the sound effects of the chainsaw are extremely loud, and sometimes it's hard to hear your teammates talking. Sometimes it's hard to hear victims talking. When they're hiding in bushes or making noises of any sorts, even to go as far as hearing objectives being turned off or on or whatever, a lot of it's tough. So what you're going to want to do, as far as family members go, and anytime, I have effects volume at 60, period, for everybody but Bubba. Victim side and all the other killers are at 60 because, again, the game is just so astronomically loud. But when you play Leatherface, you're going to want to take this effects volume down to like 25, maybe 30 if you're really hard of hearing. But 25 is the sweet spot for me and has been for almost 2 years. The effects volume takes the chainsaw audio and lowers it completely down for you. It is very helpful because it's not rattling in your brain. As you guys know who have played Bubba before, the chainsaw can get really loud. That is tip number one. Make sure you lower the volume a little bit, man. And if you don't want to lower just the effects and you're okay with playing master volume down, you can do that too. I just do effects because I'm live streaming and making videos, so I need everything else to still be loud. But yeah, effects volume for sure, okay? The next order of business for Leatherface is going to be your best MAME, aka your star sign. This is the cream of the crop. This is the most important star sign probably in the game, Leatherface. Simply because if you decide to maybe just for fuck's sake go like this, you are selling the game completely. Even if you went like this, you're selling. Simply because the best perk or level of any star sign for killers in this game is stalling resistance level 2. It has to be somewhat met in the middle. And of course, with us knowing, 3,000 hours of Leatherface gameplay, your best option is to go right, middle. And the reason why is because once you hit level 2 Leatherface, your chainsaw can be used 20% more often before stalling, okay? And now this is why this particular side is better. The right side allows you to get into your overhead stance faster than if you were to go left mid. So right, middle, and then obviously the final one being level 3 instant activation. Instead of having to pull it 3 times, level 3 is really, really strong. Okay. But like I said, the most important part is going to be level 2 stalling resistance. Make sure that you go right, middle, middle. You don't want to ever do anything else. Okay. As far as the build goes, there's a couple of builds. In fact, there are only 2 viable builds on Leatherface. That is going to be the Big Swings route and the Scout route. This will be subjective and fought over till the end of time, such as what's better, Xbox or PlayStation, Coke or Pepsi, Pop-Tarts or toaster strudels. It's always going to have this fucking argument of Big Swings is better. No, Scout's better. Okay. Blood Runner's better. No, Blood Banker's better. No, Down the Rabbit Hole's better. There's so many arguments, but I'm telling you guys, out of somebody who has played the left side and the middle for over 3,000 hours, the Scout route will always be the best, specifically because of toughness, having no scale past 38 toughness. Everybody is finding out ever since I posted that video about toughness and being 38 toughness is 50 toughness. People are starting to learn that toughness builds are whack. Okay, and everything else is being touched. So you do have the ability to kill people in 2 swings, sometimes 3 if they're running that 38 toughness, simply because of Scout. Okay, and they're running low toughness builds. Everybody's running glass cannon builds at this point. But again, like I said, there are those 2 routes. You can take the left side if you prefer higher damage and a little bit slower, so you have more control with the big swings. Serrated and a violent route. In fact, violent would be better. Big swing. Serrated is overkill on Bubba. You don't need it. But the next best perk on the left side will be Master Key. And you guys call Cappuccino all the time, but trust me, wherever the hell it is. Master Key, where are you? Dun, dun, dun. Right here. Master Key will always be the best route for the left side. If you choose to go left, Big Swings, Master Key, and Violent have always been meta. However, the best build to use on Leatherface will be to go up the gut and make sure you grab Down the Rabbit Hole, Scout, and Rough Cut. Rough Cut is already a better Serrated. Serrated only lasts for 5 seconds. Rough Cut lasts for 7 seconds. This is Bubba's unique Rough Cut, if you will. And then Down the Rabbit Hole is, again, the most clutch perk in the fucking game. Victims who climb down wells will be highlighted for 17 seconds. Yes, 17 seconds. Yes, it's absolutely broken. It will not only determine and show you which well they drop down while you're chasing them to the basement, or they will be highlighted if you're, still in the basement and somebody else makes another victim well, then you know where their location. But it also helps you determine if someone has left a place. For example, let's say I'm on battery side rotating, somebody's penetrated the generator. My hitchhiker, for example, is looking for said person inside the generator and he can't find them. He's looked in every bush. He's stuck back there until we know that they are no longer there. When they well, I then can tell him, hey, buddy, you're good to go. I just saw them on DTRH. You're set. So Down the Rabbit Hole not only is clutch in the basement, but it's clutch upstairs as well by giving you intel. I promise you, don't use Blood Banker. You don't need to feed Grandpa with Leatherface. Start using Down the Rabbit Hole, because we all know that the next 2 perks that we're going to be using, like I said, was Rough Cut and Scout. Scout's movement speed is increased by 15%, but your stamina regeneration rate is 10% slower. Who cares? Bubba has unlimited stamina. Unlimited. Doesn't matter. This is the best route. Not only that, you do get access to the best Grandpa perk in the game as well. Exterior alarms. Exterior alarms will allow you to have critical doors painted yellow for 5 seconds once you have gotten Grandpa to level 3 and they open a critical door. it will highlight that door for 5 seconds, showcasing you their location. It is strong AF still to this day, even after the nerf to Grandpa Perks. Okay, so that is the first and foremost set of builds that you're gonna want to use. Like I said, always go with the rough cut down the rabbit hole and scout build. It's never changed. Right now, we've done some epic findings in since the last video. We are pumping everything into blood harvesting. Once again, there is no need for endurance on Bubba, considering he has unlimited stamina anyways. And then savagery, we were always putting this at 50, but guess what? 42 savagery on Leatherface, on standard swings and overhead into standard swings is the same as 50 savagery. There is no difference. You're wasting 8 points. This allows us to get from 111 blood harvesting to 124. So there were a lot of people that have been asking me about the blood harvesting and why I had a higher vial than I did in the video. This is why I wanted to make this video. Okay. As far as your sweatiness, if you guys will, the fastest execution out of the executions that Leatherface has is going to be gutted like a deer. In fact, this is the quickest family execution in the game out of any family member. It is 7 seconds long, and this is definitely the execution that you want to be using when you are in a tournament or playing customs or just want to be sweaty overall. This is going to be your best bet. Okay. As far as the skin, Nicotero is still the most dominant Leatherface skin, simply because it doesn't have a giant apron swaying around and moving around. You don't have crazy hair on top. Pretty Woman's all right, but again, Nicotero, Nicotero's chainsaw is busted OP. There's certain times where you can't hear it at all. It just has a complete mute button for some reason on certain places. So this is definitely the best skin. Now, as far as everything else goes, we're going to showcase how you play Leatherface inside of an actual match. I'm going to turn my headset on here so I can listen. And there is going to be, let's see, which is the best basement to do this in? Honestly, I feel like Family House might have the best basement in general. Let's do that. And then what we're going to do is just showcase how you guys use his chainsaw and why everybody is saying, well, I'm stalling. I keep stalling. Well, that's because you're not level 2 yet. And like I said at the beginning of the video, this is why I highly recommend that you guys are grinding the shit out of double XP weekend, because right now there is still double XP going on in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre until Tuesday the 22nd. Okay? Tuesday the 22nd, double XP. Not only does it rank your player level up, but it also ranks your character level up, and it grinds your perks faster. Make sure that you are grinding. Grinding, okay? Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna showcase to you how to use his chainsaw. Now, whether you be on PlayStation, Xbox, or PC, this will work for everybody. Doesn't necessarily mean just PlayStation Plus players. So what you're going to want to do, of course, is start the chainsaw. Now, if you're level 0, you're going to have to pull this lever 3 times. But unfortunately, I am level 1, so I get to automatically start it. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is realize here, you can sprint with left bumper, or I guess L1 if you're on PlayStation. You kind of get a little bit of a jog, right? But your main focus is to rev. Not only at some point do you get into an overhead like that, but you also can maintain that speed, the top speed, when you are running this fast. Look at this. Look how much ground I can cover with Scout in this base. Let me kind of set the room up real quick. Look how much ground that I can cover with Leatherface in a matter of seconds. You see what I mean? Now, as you guys saw how I maintain that, you have to feather. It's what we call the feather tech. Now, up the top of your, or the bottom right of your screen, you're gonna see a yellow chainsaw symbol. This is your rev meter. As you can see, when I rev, that little red part goes higher. If I hold it for too long, this is what happens. As you can see, you overheat, right? Now, what you need to do is make sure that that doesn't happen. The best way to do that is to feather at about 95%, and that way you don't stall. So I'm gonna show you guys. If I were to swing after an overhead, right when I get into an overhead, you're gonna see something. Watch. I get right into an overhead, I'm gonna swing, and I'm gonna stall. You see? Because I didn't get enough backup meter. And what that is getting higher into the percentage. Now, when I get to the overhead, like this, and I get that red meter that you see going up on the bottom right to about 90%, 95%, I can feather it like this. I use my middle finger. You can use your other finger if you want, but I always use my middle finger. And you just sit there and feather it. You just practice. You practice being comfortable with the noise that the chainsaw makes, knowing that you're not overheating. And I don't even have to look. I can look at you guys on the camera and know. You know what I mean? So, it's simple, but watch what happens when I swing. You see how many extra swings that I was able to get there? Is because I didn't immediately slam right when I got to the overhead. I let it rise a little bit more, but look. You immediately swing right when you get into the overhead stance, you're going to stall every time. That extra 20% will allow you to, once you hit level 2, will allow you to have that extra leeway to have swings after an overhead. Now, most of you are level 0 or level 1, and you are still stalling, even if you do it right there. It's because you don't have level 2's stall resistance. Simple as that, okay? Couple more things. We're gonna find another palette. I do wanna show you, in case you guys, an animation cancel with Leatherface. You just hold this down and spam the right trigger, and you can immediately start revving again and moving. But if I don't spam, watch how long it takes me to get up. Right there. You see that? Pretty wild, huh? That's a nice little tip. Again, I would say that feeding is just not necessary, but there are certain times where you have able to feed based on points. And again, always want to keep an eye out on the scoreboard. Okay, the scoreboard will determine if victims have gotten a lot of XP. That means they've opened a lot of doors and have gotten out some. It's as simple as that. Pretty easy stuff to learn how to play Bubba. Again, the other type of things like playing and learning the game, learning the well spots, it's just gonna take time with practice, a lot of practice, and a lot of playtime you will eventually get by doing so. Again, like I said, I have over 3,000 hours in this game. I have been a Leatherface main and an established Leatherface main by the community for almost 2 years. It has been an awesome thing. So if you guys have any questions for me about anything or anybody in the game, any killer or any victim, just drop a comment down below. Leave a like on the video, and of course, don't forget, excuse me, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It would greatly be appreciated if you guys hit the sub button. It's totally free to do so, and we really appreciate it. Once again, it's good to see y'all, and we'll see you guys next time, okay? Have a great day, and peace out.